All right, so I have the dash finally mocked up, pretty much how it's going to be. I made this template out of MDF, so I have to make that out of aluminum. And like I made that out of aluminum. And then I have to decide whether I want it silver or black. Made these out of 1/8 inch aluminum. I think they look pretty good. So there's a lot of things going on here, but basically over here, this is line lock. So it's a guarded switch. Okay, turn the switch on. That shows you it's armed with the light, and then the line lock button is right there. Okay, here we have that button operates the second fuel pump, so if I want to run around on one, if I'm just cruising or whatever. I also have it where my boost controller at 7 pounds of boost will turn on the second fuel pump, so I don't have to worry about that it's not going to work. But if I'm racing or something and I just want to make sure that it's on from the start, I can use that. So the way that works is, so you can see there with the start, the 2-second, 1 fuel pump. I don't know if you can tell. Oh wait, here, let's turn it on. There you go. So the middle one, the amber one, is the transmission cooler fan. So when that fan's on, that turns on, and the 2 red lights are the 2 relays for the dual fans for cooling. So that way if a relay ever goes out, I'll know. Now this one over here is similar to the one on the other side. It's for the JMS trans brake, but I bought that about 6 months ago on Jags, and it still hasn't arrived because they hadn't started producing them. So I'm enjoying this Haltech dash. It's fully programmable. Like, I mean, you can put warnings for high, low, hot, cold, you know, all the colors you can change. At first I didn't like the dash because it was very limited, but they've activated 4 inputs now, so I was able to use sensors to get oil pressure, fuel level, and then boost. The coolant temp, the air temp, throttle position, RPM, battery voltage, that all comes through OBD2. Unfortunately, not a lot comes through the OBD2 with these Coyote ECMs. Then down there is the Alpine touchscreen, which has Apple CarPlay and rear camera. I'll probably put a front camera on as well. So you can program all these screens to look like anything you want. You can choose the colors. You just do it on your laptop. I put the port here. So the nice thing about the fuel level is you can use any sensor. You just have to read the voltage, you know, at empty, quarter, half, 3/4, and full, and then put those voltages into the computer and then just send them to the display. So here's a couple different designs. One thing I don't like about the Haltech, well, I mentioned that it had limited inputs. Well, they have, you know, I forget what it is, like 30 pins in the back, but only really a dozen are available. It would be nice to have a speed input, so I could just take my VSS, put it in there, you know, my pulses per minute, and then I could have a speedometer. But instead I'm having to use my Cortex EBC for miles per hour from my boost controller. But I'm sure they'll upgrade it at some point, and it'll be very nice when they do. They just need to get on activating some of these pins. So here's a couple others I did. So here's how I did the fuel level, so you can see the voltage. You just cycle your fuel level sensor at different levels. You write down the voltage and then you program that in for what percentage it corresponds to. Alright, so some other cool things are you can change the colors based on, you know, whatever. You can do it however you want, but for me, things are yellow when they're good. So fuel level is 100%, so when that gets down to a quarter, it'll turn red. Obviously my oil pressure with the engine off is not good. I have a high and a low sitting there. Same with my fuel pressure, coolant temp. So those let me know, and then air temp, when that gets excessively high, I'll have that change colors to red, but normally it would be yellow. So I think it's looking pretty good. Of course, the removable steering wheel with the paddle shift. So I can't do it with one hand, but I can put it up there so you can kind of see what it looks like from my perspective. So I had to adjust the gauges so, you know, I could see them through the steering wheel. So that's why the right and the left are in the lower right and left positions. Those are actually going to be two more of these Cortex EBC. Those guys are great to work with. Chris there, he is making me two slaves, so that way I can put gear and miles per hour on, or really whatever I want, because of all the things I have in there. So I think the things that I have hooked up are RPM, speed, gear, boost. I think that's all I have on there, but there's more available. So coming along slowly but surely. That's the update.